А ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну, гей, гей, розвеселимо. А ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну, гей, гей, розвеселимо. А щирую стрільці січові, накриваний хон, визволяти брати українці, Острозький кайдан. А ми наших братів українців визволимо, а ми нашу славну Україну, гей, розвеселимо. А ми наших братів українців визволимо, а ми нашу славну Україну, гей, гей, розвеселимо. Here, dear citizens of Birmingham, I'll read out a brief chronology of what has been happening in Ukraine. 23rd to the 29th of November 2013 was the failure of the signing of the EU Association Agreement. Massive peaceful protests arise all over Ukraine. Ukrainian people want to be part of the EU. 30th of November, Berkut, Kiev Special Police Force at 4 o'clock in the morning brutally dispersed peaceful protesters using tear gas, stun grenades on women and children, then beating them with their batons. The church bells are rung around the city to alert Kiev. This results in huge protests in Kiev. People coming from all over Ukraine, God bless you, brother, and demanding punishment for the perpetrators who inflicted violence on Ukraine's women and children. 8th of December 2013, President Yanukovych behaves as if nothing serious has happened in Ukraine, and the government carries on committing atrocities against its people. March of Millions takes place in Kiev Maidan, Nezalezhnosti, and there are also massive protests in all cities of Ukraine: Zaporizhia, Ivano-Frankivsk, Lutsk, Poltava, Ternopil, Kharkiv, Sebastopol, skryz po Ukraine, demanding the resignation of the mafiosa, the banda, the mob, the government and the president. During December, as you all know, you should be all starting preparing for Christmas. Ukrainians prepare for St. Nicholas, and we also should be preparing for their Christmas season. They should be spending time with their families, with their loved ones, with their brothers and their sisters. But instead, the peaceful protesters were beaten, were jailed, were tortured, and are still today awaiting trial by a kangaroo court. January 16th, 2014. Corruption within Ukrainian parliament. 20 anti-democratic, unconstitutional laws are passed against normal parliamentary voting. They're just pushed in. The laws were, if you are caught protesting, you will get 15 years in jail. If you are caught wearing a helmet in the city centres or any squares, the police have the right to beat you and torture you and drag you into prison. The Ukrainian people ignore this violation against their human rights and continue to protest, as there is no other way for Ukraine. It cannot go backwards into the way of the Soviet Union. It only has one direction, and the direction is the road to Europe. So they stand, children and mothers, but continually they are beaten and persecuted in their fight for a better children, for a better future for Ukraine and its children. 22nd of January 2014, on this day when Ukraine declared its sovereignty in 1919, the day of unification and freedom of Ukraine. This day should have been a celebration and a proud moment for Ukraine, but instead draconic laws going back to the Soviet era were passed in Parliament. This then erupted in chaos and bloodshed on the streets of Ukraine as the country's 2-month-old peaceful Euromaidan protest claimed its first victims. They had been killed by gunfire amid clashes between demonstrators and police on Hrushevsky Street, who were supposed to be using rubber bullets. But guess what? No, live ammunition were being used. The first victim was a 21-year-old lad. His name was Serhiy Nihoyan. He wasn't Ukrainian. He was an ethnic Armenian who stood for Ukraine. He was the first martyr of Ukraine, an Armenian lad. He was shot 4 times, including in the head and the neck. The second victim was Mikhail